Hello. Good afternoon. How's everybody today on this beautiful Wednesday? I don't know where you are, but where I am, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, the clouds are white and fluffy, there's a bit of a breeze, and it's 8 degrees out there, as in Fahrenheit. Very, very cold, bitter cold. And understand it's only going to get better. Our coldest day is supposed to be Friday. And then on the weekend, we're expecting another snowstorm. Now, keep in mind, we haven't recovered fully from the first storm. That was this past weekend. 11 inches is laying about the ground here. And as soon as it fell, it stuck. And then after all the snow, we had the storm changed to ice. And so now we had a couple of inches of ice on top of our couple of feet of snow. Anyway, it's a mess out there, I have to say. I didn't go out. I bought my husband a electric snow shovel and a snowblower for Christmas. He was happy. It all worked. Anyway, it's very cold, so I am very glad that I am doing this indoor tour today. For those of you new to my channel who don't know me, my name's Sharon Schultz, and I'm known as the Bay Lady. I do a lot of virtual tours, outdoor tours, different places in and around the Chesapeake Bay, which is where I live. And with the weather being so cold, no running around the bay today. As a matter of fact, I tried to do a virtual tour around the harbor, not this past weekend, but the one before that, and canceled because it was too cold. There was no way this lady was walking around that harbor in that wind. It was incredible. So we're having a bout of bad weather, cold weather, winter weather here in good old Baltimore, Maryland. So hope you're faring better where you are. And if you're not, well, I hope you're keeping warm because that's what I'm doing. So, Bay Lady here. You can find me on YouTube, Sharon Schultz, the Bay Lady, Facebook Live, the Bay Lady, Twitch, Sharon Schultz, the Bay Lady. I'm out there. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like my pages, and you'll be able to, get a heads up when my tours are. With the weather being so cold, my tours are pretty much few and far in between these days. I'm still trying to stay out there. That's why we're doing Beatles Trivia today. Anyway, just my pages are the best ways to see what's cooking. So also, please know that all of my tours are they're free tours. So tips are encouraged, gratuities, whatever you want to call it. That's what gives me the gas money to go here and there when I'm out going here and there anyway. On my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel, you'll find a link to buy me a coffee. That is where gratuities are gratefully accepted. So thank you very much. Anyway, today, Beatles Trivia. I'm in my Beatles studio. If you haven't noticed, I have a lot of Beatles things. I'm a collector of many things, but I especially love my Beatles stuff. I have photographs, many. I've got photo albums. I've got the latest books. This one, Paul McCartney, Eyes of the Storm here. This is the photograph book he put out last summer, coffee table book. A lot of photographs never before seen of the Beatles back in 1964. And mainly because many of them, well, the majority of them were taken by McCartney himself. So I have other things too, the music, what have you. Um, so I kind of keep up with what's going on. So if you are a Beatles fan right now, you can know that Ringo is out there touring. He's doing a real cool tour out there. He has different guests popping by, and on one segment, I saw him wearing a cowboy hat. He was doing one of his songs, and he was just so good. He was like a country dude, but you know he's not. Anyway, it was great. And Paul is still out there doing tours as well. Boy, I saw him in concert. Couple of times actually, but 2 years ago, when the first time he came through here, through Baltimore, 2 years ago, I saw him, and that was just, oh boy, there's no getting around that. That was the best experience ever. It was awesome. Anyway, so he's still out there doing that, and right now, if you go online or whatever. There is a trailer out there for a new rockumentary coming out in February. I believe it's the end of February. Man on the Run. It's a new documentary by Paul McCartney about the Wednesdays. The soundtrack, the trailer rather, well, trailer ought to be a soundtrack in itself. The trailer's pretty good too. That was just released last week. So it's out there if you care to check it out. Sorry. Yes, my drink of choice. No, I don't get paid for that. I'm not an influencer. Okay, so this right here. This is a card game. It's called Beatles Significa. Beatles Significa, the music, the history, the game. Okay. Beatles Significa is a game for 2 or more players. We're going to have a whole lot more than 2 players, for sure. And what it is, it's a trivia game, a very, very early trivia game. This is the White Album edition. And it contains 832 questions and answers covering every aspect of the Beatles phenomenon. Beatle years only, from birth through mania to breakup. Okay, so what we're going to do is ask you some questions, and they're multiple choice, so you don't have to tax your brains too terribly much, being multiple choice and all. Okay, so ready? Question number 1. The Beatles were playing concerts in what city when they heard the great news? I Want to Hold Your Hand was number 1 in the US. What city were they playing? Were they doing concerts in when they heard that I Want to Hold Your Hand hit number 1 in the US? Anybody know? Anybody know? Oh, you know what? They don't give you multiple choice. Sorry about that. Boy, was I wrong. Looks like you're taxing your brain. Were these multiple choice? Well, at any rate, the Beatles were playing concerts in what city when they heard the great news, I Want to Hold Your Hand? It's number 1 in the US. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And the answer was where? Paris. They were in Paris, France, in concert. When they heard I Want to Hold Your Hand was #1 in the US. Now, I believe that was before they came to the US. I believe they had a #1 before they actually planted their toes on US ground. All right, next question. In what Beatles song does a girl trying to hide from a broken-hearted caller have people lie for her? Oh boy, is this a good one. In what Beatles song does a girl trying to hide from a broken-hearted caller have people lie for her? Oh my God, I have no clue. Do you? That's a good one. Oh my goodness. I have to think on it a minute. In what Beatles song does a girl trying to hide from a broken-hearted caller have people lie for her? I can't stand it. I have to look. I don't know. No reply. Really? That's a lie. Oh my gosh. Of course. No reply. That would be about right. Yep. Okay. That's 0 for me. Number 3. What was the name of the Salvation Army home for girls near where John Lennon grew up? What was the name of that Salvation Army home for girls near where John grew up? Do we know that? The Salvation Army home for girls? Salvation Army had girls' homes. I guess maybe they did in England, I suppose. Near where John grew up. I don't know. Strawberry Fields? That was or was that an orphanage? Let's see. Okay, God, Strawberry Fields. I was right. It was Strawberry Fields. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Got one. Feel free to respond, anybody out there. Hang on while I check my chat. Oh, I have no chat. Okay, well, all right. That tells me participation is not good. Okay, next. Number 4. What song from the Beatles' White Album makes reference to 5 earlier Beatles songs? Well, these questions are good. What song from the Beatles' White Album makes reference to 5 earlier Beatles songs? Oh my God, I know it. I know which one. I know. Glass Onion. I don't know if it's 5 song references, but there's a few in there. Let's find out. All right. What song from the White Album makes reference to 5 earlier Beatles songs? And the answer is Glass Onion. Woohoo! All right. Got another one I did. Okay. Next. In what country did the Beatles get a hostile send-off after not showing up at a reception hosted by the president's wife? In what country did the Beatles get a hostile send-off after not showing up at a reception hosted by the president's wife? Like what? Like they snubbed her or something? They took insult because they didn't show? And where would that have been? Where would that have been? I think they used to show up to all the things in their country, right? In the UK, the Queen's Benefit and the Prince's Trust and this, that, and the other, right? So, what country do you think? Any clues? In what country did the Beatles get a hostile send-off after not showing up at a reception hosted by the president's wife? Now, it seems to me that it's sounding like, they snubbed the president's lady and got run out of town. So how come I don't know the answer to that? I think you would have heard about that, right? Oh, well, this is a long time ago. So what is the answer? What country was it? The Philippines. They were in the Philippines. Okay, so they snubbed the first lady of the Philippines. They didn't go to her party. Oh, yeah, she was probably pissed. She was probably bragging all about it. Oh, the Beatles are coming to my dinner party tonight. Yeah, and then probably got really mad at her husband when it didn't happen. I thought you said. Anyway, long, long time ago. Next question. Thank you very much. In a song, Norwegian Wood, where did John sleep? Oh, I know that one. Does everybody know that? Norwegian Wood, where did John sleep? Norwegian Wood. Where did John sleep? I know the answer. Does anyone else? Well, I can tell you that John slept in the bath. In the bath. Yep, that's what it says. The bath. In the bath. That's where John slept. Hey, kitty, kitty. My cat is under my chair. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come up here. Huh. She's probably mad because I'm in her chair. She likes sleeping in this chair. Yes, she does. Okay, next question. Oh, that's my kitty. Hey, no, 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 leave that alone. Come here. Come here, you brat. No, don't play with it. I have my phone plugged in charging, so she's going to play with the wire, my dear kitty. Yeah, she's a definite handful, I have to say. She's caused me some moments. Haven't you, Susie? Susie. Yeah, she's laying in a patch of sunlight there on the floor. Good, maybe she'll stay there for the next few minutes. Okay. Next, list the four Beatles in the order in which they first quit the band. Ooh, even if it turned out to be temporary. List the four Beatles in the order in which they first quit the band, even if it turned out to be temporary. Whoa. Yeah, that's a trick question for sure. For sure, that's a trick question. Because I want to say George. George was the first during the Let It Be sessions, right? Didn't he get mad and he walked out? Was he the first? I don't know. And then what about the order of them quitting? That's kind of iffy too. I would say, okay, I'm just guessing. I mean, I'm guessing George being the first. And I want to say Ringo would be the last because he was the most agreeable. And I believe he was still talking to everybody when they did split. So I don't think Ringo really, had any particular issues with any one of his bandmates, in particular. So I would say he was last. So George is first and Ringo's last. That leaves John and Paul. And I'm going to say Paul left, and then John left. He got pissed because Paul left. Yes, you think? Think we got it? I don't know. Shall we look? Yes, let's look because I want to know. Okay, let's see. Are we ready? The four Beatles in the order in which they left the band, including temporarily, because there were a couple of instances, remember? All right, here we go. Oh, I was wrong. I was close, but I was wrong. Okay, so they list Ringo, George, John, and Paul. I was all wrong. Ringo, George, John, and Paul. No explanation, though, I wish. And I don't recall those circumstances, so oh well. A discussion for another day. Okay, another question. Which Beatles song opens with the line, "You know you made me cry"? Which Beatles song opens with the line, "You know you made me cry"? And why I cry for you? Oh, dun, 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 dun. I can't think of the name. I wonder why. Is it why? You. Oh, no, no, not a second time. Is it why? Anybody? I'm gonna look. No, it's not. Not a second time. Oh, wow, and I even sang that too. No, 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 not a second time. That's the name of it. All right, that was good. Okay, let's see. Next card. Another drink of my unhealthy, carbonated, sugared soda. Can't help myself. I limit myself. I truly do. Okay. Not counting a few piano lessons, that's a good clue. What was Paul's first instrument? So, not counting a few piano lessons, is that meant to throw us off? What was Paul's first instrument? Huh, I don't know. If the question was what was John's first instrument, I'd like to say ukulele from his mom, Julia. But Paul's, I think it might have been a guitar. I think it might have been a guitar because didn't his dad have a piano, right? They had music in the McCartney home. His dad played the piano and sang and did so professionally, semi-professionally, something like that. Anyway, all right, so not counting a few piano lessons, what was Paul's first instrument? And the answer is a trumpet. I wouldn't have guessed that, a trumpet. Oh my gosh, a trumpet. He played a horn. Okay. What is far and away the most counterfeited album of all time? Oh my God. What is far and away the most counterfeited album of all time? Oh my goodness. I didn't know there was one. Oh my goodness. The most counterfeited album of all time. Let It Be. I know it's been the most video produced or whatever because they made a movie out of the making of Let It Be and then the making of Let It Be. Anyway, but okay. the most counterfeited album of all time? What if I were to say the White Album? What if I were to say the White Album was the most counterfeited album of all time? Would anybody agree with that? Does anybody know the story of the cover of the White Album? Does anybody have a copy of the actual cover of the White Album before it was the White Album? If you do, you're rare. There aren't many out there if it's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, well, let's find out. Quit the speculation. What is far and away the most counterfeited album of all time? I hope they give the reason and explanation. Introducing the Beatles. Introducing the Beatles was the most counterfeited. Well, I wonder why, because it was the first one. I wish they would say. Somebody Google that. Yeah, right. Nobody's participating. Where's all my comments? I'm showing there's some people out there watching. Unless they're on one of the platforms that don't show me. If you're on Facebook, I can see you in the chat and you can see other Facebook chatting. If you're on YouTube, same deal. I can see you in the chat and you can see other people in the YouTube chat. Facebook and YouTube cannot see each other. Only I can see both. And Twitch can't chat. So, okay, next question. Where were we? Which Decca audition song was dusted off for the Let It Be movie? Which Decca audition song was dusted off for the Let It Be movie? Okay. Decca was like one of the early labels, if not the original. I don't know. Decca. Was that before like Capitol? I don't know. Which Decca audition song? Yeah, it's got to be early because you're talking auditions. So is it Love Me Do? Which Decca audition song was dusted off for the Let It Be movie? Was Love Me Do in the Let It Be movie? Okay. Which old song turned up in the Let It Be movie? I don't even remember which songs, all the songs that were in the Let It Be movie. I couldn't list them if I had to. Oh my goodness me. I know there are a lot of my favorite songs, but that's as far as I can go. So, okay, which Decca audition song was dusted off for the Let It Be movie? It was, drumroll please, Bésame mucho. Yeah, that one. Bésame mucho. The one that Paul sang. Oh, yeah. Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that, but yeah, he did when they were in rehearsals, when they were writing songs, and he was sitting at the piano and fooling around, and yeah, he did that little concerto thingamajig that he did. Okay. Next, identify the Capitol album by its questionable claim. It's like spending a very special evening in the company of the Beatles themselves. Well, identify the Capitol album by its questionable claim. It's like spending a very special evening in the company of the Beatles themselves. I'm just going to look and see. The answer is Don't Bother Me. No, the answer is, where am I? The Beatles Story. What the heck is that? The Beatles Story. Wow. The Beatles Story. Never heard of it. Oh, well, just when you think you know it all, you don't. Next, oh God. So the next question is, on the Beatles Story album, the Beatles deny that they are millionaires. The money goes to someone else. Who's a millionaire? Oh, God. Let me read this again. On the Beatles Story album, the Beatles deny that they are millionaires. The money goes to someone else. Who's a millionaire? All right, we're going to have to look. Her Majesty, the Queen. The Queen. I think they're talking about taxes. The Queen, that's funny. Okay, all right. Next. If your hands started clapping and your fingers started popping and your feet started moving around, the remedy is a shot of what? If your hands started clapping and your fingers started popping and your feet started moving around, the remedy is a shot of what? A shot of what when your body gets all grooving? That's an interesting question, isn't it? And the interesting answer is no, a shot of rhythm and blues. I believe it's a song title. A shot of rhythm and blues. Okay. Last question. What kind of chord is the buildup of Oz in Twist and Shout? What kind of chord is the buildup of Oz in Twist and Shout? What chord is that? Ah, 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 ah. Yeah. What chord is that? Let's see. It is the seventh chord, A7. A7 is the chord. Ta-da. All right. Well, folks, I think that was a fun little lunch break there. Hope all you little Beatle fans enjoyed it. All you few Beatle fans, whoever you are, because nobody chatted, nobody interacted. I used to have some friends that interacted on here with me. Some even challenged me on Beatles information, right? With the Paul is dead kind of conspiracy theories like that. That was an interesting exchange. Anywho, all right, I am done. I'm putting my cards away till next time. I am going to leave with my soda and find something else to do for the rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed Beatles Trivia, and I hope you come back again. You'll have to like my Facebook page, The Bay Lady, and like my YouTube channel, Sharon Schultz, The Bay Lady, to see when the next Beatles Trivia comes along. Until then, slime.